Shoulder was hurting for a while, and I didn't want to have surgery on it, but it got to a point where I couldn't hardly raise my arm without feeling pain. I couldn't do anything, not with this arm. I couldn't even hardly lift it up without feeling pain, you know. And now I can take it and just flip it behind my head and anywhere. But, I mean, it's really improved.
I had a lower back problem for years, and then also my left shoulder was only about 20%. I could only operate about 20% of my shoulder at that time. I didn't sleep well at night at all. I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned all night long. I was tired about every day. Every day was pretty much miserable, and I had a lot of pain. My shoulder was always in pain, and that was really, I didn't have too many good days. They were all pretty much painful days for about, I'd say about the last 3-4 months until I came to see Dr. Reichert. Before, I couldn't raise the shoulder up any higher than this. I couldn't go out and wash a car. I couldn't wash a window. I basically couldn't do much other than doing everything with my right hand. And today I got free movement, both my shoulders. I go out and I split wood. I do a lot of physical work around my house. I can go hunting. Before I could not go hunting. I couldn't even carry a gun before. It was hurt my shoulder so bad, and I've been hunting and fishing. Fishing also bothered me. I really am pretty much pain-free now. I'd say my shoulder's back. I'm 99% of what I was. Where I started at 20, I'm at 99 now, I would say. So I would recommend them before they'd take any surgical measures to definitely come see regenerative medicine and see what they can do for you, because it really has helped me and it's been very successful for me. And I really have no complaints. I would highly recommend coming to see Dr. Reichert and get another opinion. I think he's done a fantastic job for me.
We'd walk about 3.5 miles. Number one, 4 months ago, I would have never attempted to even think about walking down that incline, because my hips would have got to hurting so bad there would have been no way.
Yeah.
But the thought of even remotely coming back up that would have been out of the question. I'd have been looking for a cab or something, you know. I wouldn't walk that hill. I couldn't have. But I walked right back up the hill after. So, and we done that 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
I was going to have trouble. So I took the lady in the wheelchair and pushed her down this long incline. Of course, I had to, you know, kind of hold back on her because it was a pretty good incline. I would have never been able to do that 4 months ago, not before my stem cell shots and my trigenics and everything. No way in this wide world would I ever be able to do that. So
that's awesome.
Trying to get out of my easy chair at home. I mean, I would scoot up on the end of my chair and then take my hands and I'd lift myself up out of the chair with my hands because my legs just wouldn't do it. I mean, my hips just ache. I tried walking around the neighborhood with my wife, and 3 trips is a mile through our neighborhood. If I made 1 trip, I was lucky because my hips would be hurting me so bad I had to go sit down. And so that was probably my getting up out of a chair. That was my biggest. I always had to use my arms and hands, and I don't have to do that anymore. I just get up and go.
You want to go ahead and stand up for us?
Sure.
Show us what it's like?
You betcha.
Say, that was too easy.
Well, there you go. So 4 months ago, I would have never done that.
Perfect.
No way. 4 months ago.
And then lastly, what would you say to somebody who is considering having this therapy done?
Oh, no brainer. Have it done. I mean, my goodness, it's, you know, I'd do it again. I'd do it again tomorrow. I wouldn't hesitate a bit, because it has made a world of difference in the way I feel, the way I function on a daily basis.
About 6 months ago, I got to the point where I couldn't pick up these boxes anymore. I even actually dropped some, which was pretty scary, and my arm just gave out. I had no strength in my right bicep, my left bicep, and by the end of about 7 or 8 weeks, I didn't notice my arm anymore, which meant that I'm okay. I mean, I'm better than I'm like I was a year ago. You know, I could pick up the boxes now like I always did, and it's better than the right one. I had no strength. I couldn't pick things up. I mean, it's just like, I don't know if I had pain, but I just couldn't pick up a gallon of milk without pain in my right bicep or left bicep.
And now what's that like as far as
I don't notice it no more.
Yeah.
I just pick it up and everything normal again.
Yeah.
So within 8 weeks, it went from I couldn't pick up a gallon of milk to
And now that's your good arm, right?
now it's my good arm. Yeah.
Lastly, just what would you say to somebody who is considering this this treatment option?
I'd go ahead and do it because I had shoulder spurs taken off my right shoulder, and that was it did a little good, but not like this one. So
I was having knee pain, and actually my mother had knee hip surgeries, and I wanted to avoid having to have a knee surgery.
Mhm.
So if I would, especially if I went shopping, like
Mhm.
Walmart or grocery shopping, I actually would practically be leaning on the cart because my knees would start aching so bad, and when I get home they were just like screaming at me, you know. So they are so much better.
Yeah.
I was probably at least 8 to 9
Oh man.
at certain times. Now I really don't have the knee pain. Maybe one every once in a while.
Wow.
Oh, I recommend trying it definitely, because it really helped me a lot, and I'm not planning any surgery. So
I had trouble with the right knee, pain, had trouble walking, just constant pain, and I went to people about surgery, but I wanted something not as invasive as a surgery that would put me down for several weeks. Why that? Plus, just anything, walking
Yeah.
up steps, walking in the woods, or anything like that was just trouble. I'd say 8, sometimes 10, something in that area. Now it's probably 2. It's much better, much better. I can walk. I can climb stairs. I can do things that I haven't done before. So I feel 100% better than I did. Definitely. Once you have surgery, once they cut on you, I always worry a little bit about what's going to happen afterwards. So I would recommend them to look into it.
Absolutely.
I couldn't hardly walk. Up and down steps was really tough. It'd been going on for a couple years, and it's just gradually getting worse. And I was at the point to where I actually called my wife and told her that she's got to do something. My right knee for the past couple years was swelled up a little bit and get to a point where I couldn't hardly put pressure on it. Then it would get better, and then it would get worse again. But it just gradually getting worse over the past couple years. Point where I couldn't stand it no more.
Was the right one
This one was the worst. This one was the worst. This one, it wouldn't fluctuate like this other one would. This other one would get bad, and I couldn't hardly use it at all.
Yeah.
Before going up and down steps, it was one step at a time, and I had to hold onto the rail to do it. Now I can run up and down, no problem.
That's awesome.
Without pain at all. I mean, I don't even notice that there was pain.
Wow.
Yeah. Or just walking down a grade, that bothered me. At work, I work construction, so I'm climbing scaffold and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was almost impossible to do that stuff. I tried to avoid stuff like that as much as I could, but if you're working, you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
And I was about to the point that I couldn't do it no more. People at work tell me that that see a big difference already. That, I do stuff that I shied away from before.
Yeah. What is it now?
Oh, it was whatever scale you want to use. It was just about unbearable before, and now I don't even notice there ever was one.
Wow.
Within 3 or 4 weeks, I noticed the change, and like I said, after about a month, it was gone. Everything started working the way it's supposed to. The pain was gone, and it has been gone for several weeks. So,
Would you recommend this program to somebody else who is considering?
already have.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of pain in my knee, and it was just difficult for me to walk, to go up and down stairs, and I did not want to have a knee replacement because I've had 2 in my left knee, and I did not want to go through another one in my right knee. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I just thought, when he offered the stem cell therapy, I thought, I'm going to give this a try.
Yeah.
I just feel like a new person when I walk out of here. I really do.
Sure.
Okay, well, we live in a 2-story house, so going up and down the stairs was very, very difficult for me to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would just have to sit on the stairs and go down one step at a time on my butt.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah.
I could not walk, and my husband and I usually do a lot of walking at the park. I couldn't walk at all, and it's been over a year since I've been able to do that. So now I am able to walk. I'm walking a mile.
Wow.
I'm able to go up and down the stairs with minimal amount of discomfort, but not a whole lot, not like it was before.
Absolutely.
So I'm doing good. Oh, when I came in, I was like 11 or a 12. I was in a lot of pain.
Gosh, wow.
And now I'm, I don't know, maybe a 1, a 0.
Wow.
So yeah.
So
And I love the staff here. I mean, everybody is so compassionate and just so understanding. And they make you feel really welcome. And yeah, I love it here. I love coming here.
And then lastly, would you recommend this program to somebody else?
Very much so. If anybody is contemplating a knee replacement, I would definitely do this first.
Pain. I had a lot of pain in my ankle and my knee, and I thought the only resolve was major surgery, and I just didn't want to have to take that year and a half out to do all the recovery time.
Or just pain in general?
It had almost cut my life down to nothing. I mean, we were just retired here the last almost 2 years, and we wanted to go places and do things, and we weren't going anywhere that involved walking or going up down stairs, or the instability in my knee was just terrible. At every step, I thought I was going to fall over.
Surgery, why you didn't want to go in that direction? I know you mentioned the recovery time. Just
Yeah,
for one.
I was really scared of the long recovery time, and would it really heal? Would the wounds heal, and would a replacement really take in my body? You know, could my body handle the replacement? I was just really worried about the long recovery time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's relieved. The pain in my ankle is totally gone. It is. And the pain in my knee is reduced from what I used to call about a perfect 10 down to maybe a 1.5 on a bad day, and I have very few bad days anymore either. It's given me a lot of stability back in my knee, because I've seen the progression that it's made, and if I keep progressing like this, I'm happy.
Yeah, like that.
My biggest thing was the walking, and what scared me the most was I was afraid to walk anywhere. I couldn't do any mall walking with my sister. Shopping was just out completely. At any moment, I feared that I would fall, and I had taken some really bad falls. I had, and it had scared me to the point where I was discounting so much of our life. We weren't taking our retirement trips like we were wanting to take, just because of the fear that I would fall and really injure something.
Yeah. Now how are we doing?
The stability has given me that courage back. I'm much more confident now than I was, and like I said, I know I still have a ways to go, but I'm confident now that I'm going to keep improving.
Good.
So that's made me happy. My husband says I smile every day, and I wasn't smiling anymore either there for a while. I was just worried all the time. Yeah, before the treatment, I would call it, like I said, a perfect 10, meaning it was 10. The pain scale was at a 10. And now I feel like I rarely have pain anymore. Maybe every 4 or 5 days or so, I'll have a little reminder of some of the pain, but maybe to the scale of 1, maybe a 1.5. But the pain level is it's marvelous.
Would you recommend this program to somebody else?
Oh, I would definitely recommend this, and I have recommended this to friends, and I tell them as much as I can about the program. If it could help anybody else out there as much as it's helped me, then I'd say go for it. Really and truly, go for it.
I have had back surgery most of the guys I worked with also had back surgery, and in my lower back I've had a lot of problems with the sciatica going down my right leg. Because I know what it feels like to have back surgery, and if I could eliminate another surgery, that's what I aim to do, and that's been very successful for me. The recovery time on that is quite extensive after back surgery to get over it. And as of right now, I'm 7 weeks, around approximately 7 weeks on my stem cell shots. As of right now, the sciatica problem in my right leg is gone.
Wow.
I went for 2 years using CBD oil to eliminate the pain, and I'm not on CBD oil any longer.
After 2 years, this finally completely fixed the problem, so no more sciatica.
No more sciatica problems, and just to stave off another operation is well worth it.
Yeah.
Just to stave off a surgery is well worth the stem cell. And I went in this with questions and a non-believer to a certain point, but it was well worth I thought it would be well worth the effort to try it, to see if it works, and it has worked for me, and I've talked to other guys that it has worked for them also. So I'm an advocate of stem cells in a big way. Well, my biggest issue with my sciatica was I could walk fairly pain-free, but if I started doing any bending over or reaching down or trying to dig a ditch or anything like that, it hurt to the point where I just had to quit.
Yeah.
And as of right now, I'm pretty well back to, I feel like it's normal as far as my lower back and the sciatica problem in my right leg. Before treatment, it would get to the point where I couldn't function, so 9 or 10. And now I have no pain.
So down to a 0, basically.
Yeah, down to a 0. So it's well worth the effort to do the stem cell.
And then, would you recommend this program to somebody else?
I have already recommended it to several people.
Dr. Riker, because I couldn't do anything because of my shoulder hurting so bad, and I was having headaches all the time, and the headaches were, I think, worse even than my shoulder, in the back of my neck and down the back of my neck. And I'd got to where I couldn't cook, I couldn't pick up a pan or a skillet or anything, because it was, even anything that was heavy at all, it didn't make any difference what it was. I just couldn't pick it up. Couldn't sweep the floor, I couldn't mop, and that's the greatest thing I've ever done. Because the first 3 weeks, and within the first 3 weeks, I was already feeling better. I could raise my arm up and just do about anything. My head has, just within the first 3 days, my head was a lot better. My headaches, and my neck's already a lot better. And I could turn it. Before I couldn't hardly turn my head at all, and I can turn my head.
Yeah.
And I was on about 5 different medicines for headaches and stuff, and pain pills, and now I'm only taking 1 medicine for headache, and I really think that I could get off of that.
Wow.
And I think if anybody would just listen and come over here if they have anything wrong with them, it'd be the greatest thing they could ever do, because I would recommend you all to anybody. And I think this is the greatest place I've ever been. It's better than, I've went to doctors over the years, and it's just, I've had all kinds of shots and all kinds of other stuff that has never did any good. And I am so proud that we have been here. And I am so tickled at the way that you all have treated me, because everybody here has just been so great and so friendly. And when we walk in that door, they say, "Hi, Betty," and welcome, and they treat you the same every time.
It is now.
Well, to start with, before I started coming over here, it was a 10, and it's nearly stayed a 10 all the time. Even with the pain pill, I could take a pain pill, and then all the other pills I was taking, and it didn't last no time till it was just back and just excruciating pain. And now then, I have hardly no pain at all. So I'd say that's the greatest thing. You know, I couldn't recommend that if I could recommend that to anybody if they would just try it.
You mentioned some things that you can do now, things that you've been able to do since the pain's gone away.
Well, I can sweep the floors, I can mop, I can do my washing. Before I couldn't even pull the clothes out of the dryer or the washer whenever I'd wash or dry clothes. I couldn't do that. I can drive the car now a lot better than what I could before. I was kind of afraid to because I couldn't turn my head to look, you know, and that's pretty dangerous when you get to where you're at that point.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get out a lot of times before because my head would hurt so bad. And I couldn't stand the sun hit me in the face or nothing because the headaches was so bad. So there's just a lot of things I can do now that I couldn't do then.
That's awesome. And what would you say to somebody who's considering this program? I know you've already touched on it a little bit.
Oh, I think it would be the greatest thing they could do for themselves if they would just come and listen to you all and then come over here and get their x-rays or whatever they had to do and go through the program. Even the first 2 or 3 weeks, maybe everybody won't do the same, but the first 2 or 3 weeks I have did great. And I think a lot of people would too if they would just listen and do what they're supposed to.